Hello everyone, this is Spring Porter with Spring Solutions LLC. In today's video, I thought I would review the claims register in Pacer. This is important to know how to do if you are searching for unclaimed funds for creditors, corporations, companies, LLCs. You're going to have to research the claims register to pull up the claim because one, it has identifying information on it, and two, you may need that document depending on which jurisdiction you're in to support your application for unclaimed funds. So it is important to kind of navigate, to know how to navigate toward that system. So if you're interested in learning that, please stay tuned. Please note that I am not an attorney. This is not indicated as legal advice. This is just for researching purposes on how to use Pacer, how to pull up claims, and how to research the claims register. So we should know what a claim is. Now, before I even start that, if you are new to my channel, do not start with this video. This video is sort of a unclaimed funds bankruptcy 301 course when you really should do the bankruptcy 101, the intro to bankruptcy 101, and why there are claims available in bankruptcy. Those two videos you should start with. This is going to add like an extra layer to a cake here. So let's start with what is a claim. A claim in bankruptcy is a creditor assertion of a right to payment from a debtor or the debtor's property. So it's just kind of like a stake. A creditor has a stake in that person's case. And I got this definition from the Maryland Bankruptcy Court website. There's a glossary bankruptcy terms section that has all the, in layman's terms, all of the bankruptcy words. I'm sure if you check your jurisdiction, your bankruptcy court website, it'll probably have something similar. You could always go to the bankruptcy code, which is Title 11, to pull up the official definition if you like. So the proof of claim form looks like this. And it's typically 3 pages. That starts with the debtor, identifying information of the case number, jurisdiction, debtor's name. Then it goes on to, just put in where payment should be sent, what type of claim it is. It's indicated here if it's real estate, if it's a motor vehicle, the amount that's owed, and then down here it has a signature line. Now, when you're going to the bankruptcy claims register in Pacer and you pull up a claim, you're going to want to look in the signature line to figure out who filed the claim, because that's the person that you're trying to reach to let them know, hey, there's money here. All right, so this is helpful to know what this looks like. Now, these forms come paper form. This is an official form, but most of it is done electronically. So there are some still backwards jurisdictions that need paper mailed to them. So I remember filling this stuff out when I worked at the credit union. We would get bankruptcy notices, and on those notices, it will tell us when to file the proof of claim because there are deadlines. So we would get a stack in the mail or email to us, and then we would have to make sure that we get these claims in on time, or else we're not going to get paid. So a creditor does not get paid if they don't fill this out. Okay? So there are several kinds of claims. The first one that we're going to talk about is secured debt. So secured debts are mortgages, car loans, real estate taxes, other property liens. Those are secured. And the creditor, if they have a secured debt, then they're going to file a secured claim. Now, again, the form that I just showed you, it's not a different form. It's all the same form, but they're going to just check a different box. So if it's real estate, they'll check this. If it's an auto loan, they'll check this, or they can write it in what it is. All right, so that is secured loan. And then there's an unsecured loan. Unsecured debts, credit cards, medical bills, personal loans, and these are typically the ones that will be discharged in a bankruptcy. Priority unsecured debts. These debts are like certain taxes, child support, alimony, like spousal support. Those are typically non-dischargeable debts that you typically have to pay back. And of course, there's student loans. Student loans can be unsecured or secured, but we all know that those are non-dischargeable. Now, the moment that they do become dischargeable in bankruptcy, I will be filing to get rid of my student loan debt if that happens. But until then, we pay, right? So let's close this, and then I'm going to walk you through the unclaimed funds locator, and then we'll pull maybe two in Pacer again. So let's start with Connecticut. I don't usually look in Connecticut because there's 4,000 here, and there's other states that have a lot more. So we'll click on amount twice, and it will bring us to, again, the highest claims. I'm going to search this Roger case. So this Roger guy, Bouchard, I believe how you say his last name, he filed bankruptcy, and this creditor, Santana, I think they mean Santana because that sounds like what they're trying to say. It's a typo. And then they filed a claim for $14,000, right? So we're gonna pull this up. This case is from 2015, and all right. So we come here, we look for Connecticut, and this is the guy. So we're gonna pull this case. We're gonna go to docket report. We're gonna run report, and this one is interesting because it was converted to a different case. So it looks like the original chapter was a 7, and then they filed a 13. That's usually backwards. It's usually the other way around. It's usually a 13 and they go to a 7 because they can't keep up with all the monthly payments. But at any rate, you always scroll to the bottom of the docket because unclaimed funds are usually at the bottom. Let's see here. This is a good one to actually go over because there is an application for payment of unclaimed funds, but it is not for the amount, the same amount. So this could be, there could be several unclaimed funds for this particular case. So when you are reviewing the docket, you need to make sure that you are clicking on the right one and you're going after the right amount. And whoever this unclaimed fund amount, it was denied. So they must have forgot to do something. Now, if you're new to this and you're wanting to learn this, click on these because then you'll know, well, why didn't theirs work? And you could probably try to recover the funds on your own. That's just another tidbit. But anyway, this right here looks like this is the amount. So I'm going to click on this unclaimed fund up here. Yeah, and see, this is our creditor, and it's Santander. So they made a typo, but this is still it. And it looks like there's slightly more money available because this says 14,215, but then there's a $75 here. So if we click into this case on the funds locator, the case number, you'll see the same amount, right? So this usually, the funds locator should match the court docket. It doesn't always, but in this case it does. So if I'm wanting to search for this, to get this deal, I would save this to my desktop. And then, excuse me, another thing that you need to do is check the claims register and run report. You come here at the top, it has the style of a case. Case was closed when it was converted, the chapter it started with, and then you have a list of all of the creditors on the left. It looks like Santana was the first one to file a claim. And they still didn't get their money, which is funny, but they probably moved or changed addresses, right? So this is Santander. We'll just go down and I'll just show you the other ones, but it tells you right here the amount that was claimed. If you read further, it'll give you the description of what the debt is. In this instance, it doesn't. But it tells you this is claim 1. It tells you when it was filed, who it was entered by, and then next they have an IRS debt. It looks like it was amended. It looks like it was filed on the 2015 for $1,875, and then they amended it to zero, which tells me that they probably paid it. That debtor probably paid, just went ahead and paid their taxes. Then the next one, CACH, that may be a credit card, I think. Looks like it's unsecured, probably. Regional acceptance. This here says secured, and it looks like, see, it's a Volkswagen. So this is where the list comes from that I mentioned earlier about unsecured, secured. Here it says secured. Wells Fargo, Raymond and Flake, and it looks like that might be an attorney's office. Verizon, Recovery Management Services. So this was a Capital One. That's unsecured. So this says, I guess, Citibank at one point. This one is Connecticut Housing Finance Authority. This is secured, so maybe this is like a utility or maybe a condominium HOA fee or something like that. That may be here. And then this is the state of Connecticut, the Department of Revenue, and again, that's priority claim. So this is a good example because you see priority claims here, you see secured claims, you see unsecured, and that's it. It looks like there's just 11 claims. This is sort of like a smaller case docket because I've seen some claims registers go all the way down, especially if you're talking about like a tech company or some kind of furniture company. There's usually a lot of claimants. All right, so this is how you read through this. Now we're going to just click in. If you click in the claim number, you click into that and you view it, then it will show you what the claim looks like. This is an older form, but it says the same information. This is the debtor's name, the case number. Here you have a telephone number. So you can keep this, save this to your desktop, and then you can call Santander. And then there's a different number. Well, that's the same number, 188-437. Okay. So you have the amount that was owed to the creditor. You have a percent. You have identifying information. So if you're calling a place like a Santana or a bank or a credit union, and you usually are going to get member services, unless you have a number for the collection department or bankruptcy department, you're usually going to have to call member services. And they're always going to ask you, do you have a social? Do you have a full account number? Well, at least you have the last few digits of an account number. So that may be helpful. And then, let's see. It just goes on to tell you what kind of debt it is. So here it doesn't look like it's real estate or motor vehicle or an auto loan. It just says other. So it's probably an unsecured debt. So here, this is the person who filed it. Lorraine Johnson is a bankruptcy clerk at Santander Consumer USA. So she's going to know her stuff. She's going to know bankruptcy. She's going to understand, what you're talking about. You need to find that person. And if she doesn't work there anymore, when you call that 188 number, ask for the bankruptcy clerk. Hi, I'm trying to reach the bankruptcy clerk. I have some information on a bankruptcy case. You can just leave it as short as that and just give the case number. If they want you to identify yourself further, then you probably should tell them that you are a funds locator. But initially, you don't really have to say that you are a funds locator. Just say that you're working on a case. You're trying to reach the bankruptcy clerk. And they may think that, oh, you are working for the clerk's office or you might be with an attorney's office. You can let them think that, but if they ask you, who are you working for, then be honest, obviously. So if you go further down past the signature page, you're going to see, sort of a billing statement. This is a payoff statement. So it looks like this was a contract. Okay, so this was an auto loan. Maybe they sold the car because the person didn't pay it. So they probably repoed the car and sold it. And this is probably the deficiency balance that's left over and the reason why I'm saying that is because this says unsecured, and auto loans are not unsecured unless, there's a deficiency balance. So that's probably what this is. And it's good to know this because when you're trying to get a deal, again, that bankruptcy clerk is going to know she filed this claim. She knows what she's talking about. You are going to have to know what you're talking about too. So knowing this information will help. Hey, I was reviewing the bankruptcy docket. I see that you filed an unsecured claim for this particular debt, for this particular case. Did you know that there are still funds left over? Can I verify your address? Would you like to work with Would you like to work with me on recovering the funds for you? So that's how I would approach this. So it's good to know and review these documents. That's going to help further your chances there. All right, so let's move on to. I can show you maybe one more. So we'll go with maybe Arkansas Eastern District. How about that? Let's pick just a random state. Let's click them out twice. And again, I'm looking for a creditor. I'm going to see if I can locate a smaller creditor. Or maybe even an individual. That's not the debtor, but maybe just a regular individual and show you. Some of these are really old. Let's try this. Okay, I'll just show you the IRS. The IRS is a hard company, as you can imagine, the government agency to try to contact, but they always have bankruptcy specialists there, and you could try. So Clinton Scott Powers filed bankruptcy. He owed taxes. The IRS filed a claim. So let's look for his case number. Powers is the last name. Did I put in the right number? 12432. Arkansas. All right, here he is down here. We're going to go to docket report just so you can get used to doing this. You should do this. This is a chapter 7. This case has been discharged. Perfect. So we're going to go down. So there is a report of unclaimed funds. There is no application. So that's fine. You would usually click here, but I'm not going to click on this because I'm not going to work on this particular file. You would click on the report that will show you the unclaimed funds. All right, so let's go to the claims register. You can also go here at the top instead of going to the main screen. As long as you get there, doesn't matter which way you go. So up here again, case is closed, chapter 7. This person has Discover Bank. They have Arkansas Federal Credit Union. And there's a last 4 digits of an account number, so that's helpful. Department of Finance Administration. So they have 2009 and 2015 income taxes they owe. So those are priority claims. There's another priority claim. There's a Capital One. There are lots of other claims here. So I'm thinking that, okay, the IRS is here. So we're going to click on that and see what we get. So here's the proof of claim the IRS filed. This form is a little bit more updated than the previous one that we looked at. This one was filed in 2016. Here we have telephone number. This is the creditor number. I don't think you really need that, but 1-800 number you can call. This claim is for $2,580. And then it's a little bit more what the trustee gave them, probably for interest. So if you go down, you'll see that Kay Bishop is a bankruptcy specialist at the IRS. And here's her telephone number. She's in Oklahoma City. So you can call Kay Bishop and say, hey, Kay, I see that you filed a claim on this case for unpaid taxes for this particular case number. Make sure you have the case number ready because they're going to be asking you for that. And then let's see, if you go down further, they'll have a billing statement on what is owed. Usually the bankruptcy specialist will have an email address, but in this one they didn't give it to you. But I'm sure if you call, because you probably will get a voicemail, she may list it on there and just email it. So that's one way to do that. I've done that several times with no luck, but one day maybe I will be able to reach the IRS. So I'm hoping that this is helpful. This is how you review a claim. And again, it's good to kind of get familiar with these claims so that you can know what to say to get the deal. You're going to have to go say maybe a little bit more to jump a little bit more hoops to get to the creditor side of it than if you're just dealing with the debtor, because these individuals are going to know about bankruptcy and you're going to have to kind of get on that level if you're going to want to deal with us. But these are not as easy as you may think. um, just an FYI. But it's not impossible as long as you have, the background work for it. All right, so I'm hoping that this is helpful for you. This is how you review a claims register. All right, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.